I'd like to call the Thursday, February 15th, 2024 meeting of the Fitchburg Board of Health to order. This meeting is open to the public, including a virtual option. I believe we have one person appearing virtually today. Those who wish to participate remotely to the meeting may request a remote attendance meeting link by contacting the health director at scurry@fitchburgmass.gov. There are opportunities for the public. I don't see anyone here today, but opportunities for the public to speak during a Board of Health meeting. If you are to speak, we just ask that you stand at the podium and speak into the microphone so that we can all hear you, that you state your name and the community in which you reside, that you speak only on items appearing on the agenda for no more than 2 minutes. Please state the petition, order, ordinance, or resolution number to which you refer. Since we have no one here to speak in the public forum, we'll go ahead with the agenda. The first item on the agenda is for the annual appointment of the chairperson for the Fitchburg Board of Health, and we should take a vote with respect to the chairman for the coming year. Is there anyone who would like to make a motion with respect to chairperson for the upcoming year? I will say certainly anyone on the board is capable of doing it and is welcome to do it. I also would be pleased to continue in the role of chairperson if that is the decision of the other members of the board. So I'm not going to make a motion myself since I'm current chairman, but one of the other two of you would like to make a motion, we can vote on it.
I would make a motion that you continue as chair.
Well, thank you very much, and I'll recuse myself from a vote with respect to that, but if both of you are in favor of that,
I'll second the motion, and I am also in favor.
Okay, well, thanks so much, and
congratulations.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
I'll do my best to try to do a good job, and thanks very much for your confidence. I appreciate it. Moving on to the second on the agenda was a hearing request with regard to tobacco sale, but I think that item is being canceled. The person who is in question, I think, is not available, so we will move on to the next item. That is respect to local upgrade approval of Title V. There are 112 Sheldon Road and also 60 Scott Road, but do I understand, Steve, there's just one of those two that's being requested?
Both of them.
Both of them, okay. And for both, I think they're requesting a 2-foot offset to groundwater for remedial use system. And is there someone who wishes to speak with respect to that?
Yep. Mr. Carloni, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you
Yes.
perfectly.
Okay. Excellent. So I don't know if
Would it be helpful? Would it be helpful? Do you have the plans for both of the properties?
I do.
Sorry, you
Yeah.
broke up there.
Yeah, I do. I've got both of them up on my screen right now.
All right. Let me share screen, if you wouldn't mind. Putting them up on the screen, and it might help the board to at least see the plans, because I printed 8.5 by 11s, and as you know, those don't print very well.
Yeah. Would it be helpful if I send you the plans now, Steve, or I'm looking? I don't see a share option for me at the moment.
I think we have the plans, don't we, Steve?
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on it right now. The problem is it's really small.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah,
There we go.
I'm gonna try to share my screen with you. I want you to.
I'm on
make-
as a panelist
I want
now.
you to make
I'm on
the
as a
technology
panelist.
errors rather than me.
Would you like me to share my screen? I can do that now.
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Let's do that. I've got 60 Scott here, so
Excellent.
Doing 60,
all right.
60 Scott first.
60 Scott. Can everybody see that okay?
Yeah, that is the,
Yep, 60 Scott is the second
the
one in
the
your
second
packet.
plan in our packet, yeah.
Great. 60. Oh, so should I do 112 Sheldon first?
No, I think as long as you have 60 Scott up there, is that all right with everyone?
Great.
Go ahead with that.
By me.
All right, so 60 Scott Road, this is a single-family home. We do have some wetland on both sides that we're compressed with here. That's why we're so close to the house. This is a geomat system. It's a patented sand filter similar to the Presby and Elgin. The system is being used, and the offset to the high groundwater table, the 2-foot offset, is being requested to reduce mounding and to also lessen any impact from that mounding for runoff towards the dwelling. We don't want to create an issue where we've got a system that's high and it's dumping all the runoff water onto the foundation. So that's the reasoning behind the request today.
So the runoff will be directed away from the house, and where would that be directed to?
Down towards the back of the lot, the rear of the lot. So we've got a swale that we're mounded a bit, and we will have a bit of runoff that we'll have to contend with. So we're going to have basically redirect it with a swale, a ditch, and it's going to go towards the rear of the property.
And does that stay out of the wetlands per se, or?
Yes.
It does, okay. Any questions that you guys have with respect to that? It's a single-family house. How many bathrooms are?
Bathrooms, I don't know. Bedroom is 3.
3, okay.
Doesn't show any other properties around that house. Are other properties going to be affected at all by the runoff? Are there other properties close to that house?
Yes, there's 50 Scott and 70 Scott are on either side. The runoff, what we'll do is we'll more or less we'll create that swale and go in between the system and the shed and direct it towards the backyard. And I believe everything from on that side that will be going 50 Scott, their property is higher in elevation.
Ah,
50 is higher?
no,
Yeah.
the other,
What about 70?
70 is higher as well.
Okay.
They slope. Their septic system is raised in the back here, and this whole let's see. There's that 102. I should have put one over there, but there's a 102 contour that follows here, and so everything slopes down into the yard here.
just for my edification, perhaps you can just explain how would this be different, or what specifically are you asking? You're putting the runoff closer to the house, or what? How is this different from what, if we didn't have these conditions existing? How would the usual system be?
Well, a pipe and stone would be at least 2.5 feet taller out of the ground. So we'd either, in one hand, be dealing with a bit more of an aggressive runoff, or require a retaining wall. A retaining wall and a larger sized system. So they would likely come out the back of their house to a large retaining wall box, or a system that's about between 3 and 4 feet out of the ground.
And is there anything that should be monitored to determine how the system's working once it was put in?
So there's no requirements for monitoring for the GeoMat system itself. Anytime you have a system that has a pump and a pump chamber, it's kind of the normal routine when the system is pumped. The pumper really should open up that pump chamber and just take a look to see how everything's working. Of course, there is a high water alarm as well on the pump chamber. So if something were to happen to the system itself or to the pumps, that alarm that's on a separate circuit, that should alert the owners to give a company a call to come out and take a look to see what's going on.
I see. Well, any other questions? Or
I have no questions.
I think I would make a motion to approve your request for this system.
I'm just wondering, Evan, what is your role in doing the presentation? Are you the person who has planned out this whole system?
Yep, I'm the designer and the soil evaluator. So I did the soil evaluation on site, and I designed the septic system.
So that's your business. You know what you're talking about. We're going to just.
That's it. That's all I do. That's all I do every day is look at soil and design septic systems. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hard to argue with you, I think.
Yeah, right. No arguments for me.
Neither of them fight back.
Yeah, one other question about that, the soil. So you kind of perk the soil, is that it, in the surrounding areas to make sure that it's porous?
Yeah, exactly. We look for the percolation rate, and we look for the high groundwater elevation, and then we design around those two items.
Uh-huh. Well, as I said, I would make a motion allowing the 2-foot offset for 60 Scott Road.
I'll second that motion.
I'm in agreement. Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you're at least 1 out of 2 here.
1 out of 2, 1 for 2. Let's see if I can just switch right over here to 112, Sheldon. Does that come up okay?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, there you are, I think.
You are smooth. I would have screwed that up.
Everybody can see that okay?
Yep, perfect.
Great. So this is 112 Sheldon. It's another single-family home. This is a 3-bedroom. As you can see, we've got a well in the front of the property that really dictated where we went with the system here. They had a previous design done, but I don't know if you're familiar, but there's a lot of these lots have been subdivided. So there's quite a few new construction homes going up on this road. And that previous design was right through. It was pretty much on this other property. So we came out and we went outside of the well downslope here instead of keeping it closer to the house. This is a Presby EnviroSeptic system. This is similar to the GeoMat, but a bit different as well. It's a patented sand filter. It also receives a 2-foot, up to a 2-foot reduction from the remedial use approval letter for the technology. We're still very much mounded here, but again, we're taking down mounding. We're trying to just bring the sizing of the system down slightly compared to a pipe and stone, and we're also requesting it here to avoid a pump chamber, because otherwise we would have to have a tank and a pump chamber afterward to raise that effluent up. Now, in this configuration with the slope, we're able to just make it by gravity, which is nice here, because the pump chamber would actually have to be quite a bit down slope, which would mean we'd have to trench back all the way with an electric line, and it's quite a bit of work. And anytime a pump chamber can be avoided, it's just better. It's better to keep electricity out of it. Sure. So that is our request, is the 2-foot reduction via the approval letter for the Presby EnviroSeptic system.
So I have one question. So I'm having a hard time seeing the elevation on the screen and on our printout here. Everything slopes away from the well, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just with respect to the, and I know there's not a pump chamber in this particular property, but in the event of a power outage, how long will the system function without the pump, or what leeway do they have?
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so the state code Title V says that we have to, if we cannot achieve 24 hours of storage within the pump chamber itself, then a backup generator needs to be wired into the pump. But so 24 hours of storage for a 3-bedroom is 330 gallons. So, but typically, how Title V, how they size, they actually, it's usually double flow of what is normally used. So 330 gallons per day, typically it's about 50% that actually gets used. So I would say if we plan for 330 gallons per day in the pump chamber, then typically somebody has a couple days storage, but most of the time in pump chambers, we end up having somewhere between 500 and 600 gallons worth of storage, which in most households, it all depends on each family's water use, but usually that gets a few days worth of storage, where if a power were to go out, they're able to use water and it'll more or less trickle into the pump chamber where it will be stored until power is restored.
Gotcha. No, thanks. That's helpful.
Yeah.
Good question.
I'm sorry, no question? Did you?
No, I said that was a good question.
Oh, good question. Well, again, deferring to your expertise, I would recommend approval of the 2-foot offset to groundwater at 112 Sheldon Road.
I'll second that.
I'll agree also.
So you're 2 for 2.
Yeah.
That's great. I really appreciate all your time.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thanks for educating us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well, I think we could move on to food establishment permits. I think there's a list in our packet that indicates that a number of food purveyors are operating without a permit. I think they expired as of December 31st, 2023. I don't know if we need to list those, and
With the board's approval, I would submit this list to the legal department, and the legal department will send a letter to these folks, which would actually begin the process of closure. So the legal office would send them a letter and give them ample time, which they've already received 3 letters from us.
really,
And a couple of email reminders our permitting system is electronic now, so it automatically does that. But the legal team would send a letter and give them some ample time, another week or two, to do the right thing and apply for a permit. If not, then we would take steps to close the operation, of which that's not what we're here for, but
No, there are 15, I just counted them, 15 establishments on this list. It would be a shame to have any of them have to close. What does the permit entail? In other words, they're permitting them to serve food, I assume.
correct.
And do they have to establish something about the environment in which they're doing that, or is it just a question of paying for a permit? What?
It's an application process, which is required by the code, as well as a permit fee. And the permit fee is usually designed to cover the cost of providing an inspectional service for the year. That's always a tough sell, but that's how the fees in the permitting system was designed 100 years ago.
Yeah. So I think this is primarily informational. It sounds as if all these establishments have already been sent letters indicating that.
3 letters from the health department. Now I'm just seeking the board's approval to hand the list over to the legal department to let them do their thing.
You want us to make a motion?
Yes, please.
I'll make a motion that we request the legal department of the city of Fitchburg to send a letter to the establishments that are operating without a permit.
I'd second that.
And I'm in favor of that as well. So all 3 of us are in agreement.
Excellent, thank you.
Steve, do you know, are there reasons why this many people don't have a license to operate right now, or a permit to operate, or, I mean, did you, when you send out 3 letters, did you get any feedback back, or any?
Well, we actually do on-site inspections, and while the inspector's there, they'll
Yeah.
ask. And it's usually, I'll get to it.
Yeah.
It's usually about 10 to 15 annually you have to chase. It's not uncommon.
Okay.
But hopefully most of them come around and decide to pay.
They do come around eventually, yeah.
Oh.
Just a little chase and implementing late fees and getting the legal department involved. And
Well, you have our support in sending these names to the legal department, and they're all fine places, so hopefully they'll decide to comply.
And again, that's not what we're here for, but
Yeah. No, we'd like to have them stay open.
Comply.
The more the merrier.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So how, then the legal department will go, or they'll write them a letter, or they'll you'll make another visit or something, and then, do they ever, does it ever come to the point that you have to, shut it down, and then they'll pay, or is there?
it has never made it that far. But
Okay, all right, good, I'm glad to hear that.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Well, that's good. It would save a lot of effort and time if permits were just paid and we didn't have to go through that, but I guess
correct.
that happens every year, it sounds like. All right. The 4th item is approval of meeting minutes of November 2nd, 2023 meeting. Had a chance to skim through those. Any comments about the meeting minutes?
Excuse me.
It's actually, for various reasons, been a while since we've met, so I think this is the meeting of November 2nd, so essentially 3-4 months ago.
Make a motion to accept the minutes from the meeting on November 2nd?
And I'll second that.
And I'll abstain. I wasn't here. So. But the meetings look great. The minutes look great.
They do.
What would we do without Karen? I don't know. Chaos. All right, that brings us to announcements, and I guess Steve will make those.
I have it in here somewhere. One announcement to make. It is March 6th, Wednesday, March 6th. Our substance abuse team, our substance and homeless prevention, outreach prevention team is partnering with CHC, Community Health Connections, and Wednesday, March 6th from 4 to 6:30 p.m. in the lobby at Community Health Connections at 326 Nichols Road. There will be a substance use disorder resource fair. And you can learn about detox facilities, medication-assisted treatment, peer recovery centers, family support groups, various housing agencies, and 12-step groups, and much more. And incidentally, there will, at 5 o'clock, there will be a free Narcan training on the second floor. Folks can receive a free training as well as a sample, or I'm sorry, actual Narcan kit. And it's free and open to all. No pre-registration is required. And we will provide refreshments to all those that join. If anybody is looking for information, do not hesitate to call Sue Christensen. She is our outreach and prevention coordinator, and her number is 978-829-1854.
Super.
And that is the only announcement I have tonight.
I'd like to make a comment on that, and I would encourage anybody who's listening who knows anyone who may have a substance use disorder. Maybe you've got Narcan a year ago or a couple of years ago. There's been a lot of opportunities in Fitchburg to get these supplies and to have the training. But like any medication, sometimes your Narcan that you might have has expired. And if you have a loved one who is suffering or struggling with a substance use disorder, I think it's always good to have Narcan available. Maybe one in your car, maybe one in your purse. Thank you.
Very, very good comment, thanks. And lastly, I'll just encourage those who are in the mood for it to get your vaccinations. I think although COVID is less of a threat than it had been in past years, it's still around. RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, still a threat to older folks and those with respiratory difficulties. And it's flu season as well. I think I would encourage individuals to get vaccinated against those conditions. It may save a lot of grief if you were to do that. With that said, any other comments or announcements? And I think we can take a motion to adjourn the meeting today.
I'll motion to adjourn.
The meeting is adjourned.